Okay, guys, good morning, mid-morning, rainy day in Jacksonville, Alabama. My name is Chase Black. I'm a superintendent for Turner Construction. Um, Please be patient with me this morning. This is my first time on a Zoom platform presenting in a webinar type format, so be patient with me. Mute your lines if you will. We're going to run through a PowerPoint that I put together, kind of explain to you what I do, and then what Turner is as a company, and kind of what we're all about. And then at the end, we'll do some Q&A. Let everybody ask questions if you have any. So, like I said, I hope everybody can hear me well. PowerPoint's up. A day in the life of a superintendent engineer. So we'll get going. I've got some webinar etiquette here. Really, the main thing is just mute your line so we're not getting the background noise from everybody scattered around campus. And then, like I said, we'll do a Q&A at the end for anybody who has questions about Turner or what we do or what I do. Okay, so introducing myself, my name is Chase Black. I'm a superintendent with Turner. I've been with Turner for 11 years. I went to Auburn University, went through the building science program there, graduated in 2010, War Eagle, and that was the national championship year, so it was a great year to be a senior at Auburn. I'm from Gadsden, Alabama, so I grew up in Glencoe, which is a suburb kind of right outside of Gadsden, a little small community right here local. So I'm kind of local to Jacksonville, spent a lot of time here at the Pete growing up, and so really like being here in Jacksonville, being able to help not only the university but the community and everybody who comes up here and goes to school. My email address is down there at the bottom if you guys want to write that down. If there's anything we don't cover today that you have questions about and you want to reach out to me, that is our email, and you can get in touch with me that way. Aside from introduction, I'll just talk a little bit about Turner. So Turner is one of the largest general contractors in the country. Turner has about 10,000 employees. Turner has a lot of offices, probably upwards to 50 offices across the country in about 25 states. So really coast to coast, and even has an international division where we do work in South America, Mexico, Asia, Germany, and really just different parts of the world, which is really neat. But Turner is a very large, top ranked, top rated general contractor across the country. So responsibilities of a project engineer and superintendent. So I kind of split this slide so that you guys can see the difference between basically daily tasks for engineers and superintendents. Engineer is somebody who works both in the office and in the field, but really puts more of the job together on paper in the form of project documents. So you have all your construction documents, you have to maintain them, what we call document control. So as they change throughout the project, you make sure that you have the most up-to-date drawings available for your subcontractors to use, and that you're building off of the right set of prints. Submittal review and tracking. So submittal is kind of, like I said, basically building the job on paper prior to building it in the field in real life. All projects have specifications and drawings that you have to abide by when building a project, all the way down to the types of concrete you use, the types of brick, the types of steel, roofing. Every material in the building is specified, and you have to use those specified materials. So in the submittal process, we're basically sending these materials and these means and these methods to engineers for their sign off on, yes, this is what we intended to do or use in the building of this project. Request for information, management and distribution. So that's RFIs. A lot of times in the field, things don't go together quite like they do on paper. I think everybody can sympathize with that. It's not always as it seems when it's written down or drawn. And so RFIs are a way to reach out, ask the design team, the architects, the engineers, is this what you intended? This doesn't work in the field, and suggest ways to work around that, and keep the job moving, or change and keep the job moving. Keeping the contract documents updated and posted with the latest information. We talked a little bit about that already. That's document control. We want to make sure that the people that we have, the subcontractors that we have, or trade partners, are using the most up-to-date and accurate information. We call it latest and greatest most of the time, but on projects, things are fluid and they change a lot. Owners change their mind, and you have to be adaptable, and you have to make sure that everybody's seeing the same thing and working towards the same goal. Documentation and distribution of meeting minutes. So there's a lot of meetings when it comes to building large construction projects with owners, with architects, with subcontractors. Documenting those meetings through minutes and distributing those is a very important part of reporting and keeping accurate reporting on job site, is what happened and what people and different engineers, architects, what their deliverables are, what the time frames are that we need them in order to timely put the work in. Change order review and processing. So that's like we talked about. I said owners tend to change their minds. Sometimes things don't work out and have to be changed. A lot of times change orders come from that, whether it's credit back to owner or more expensive changes. Those will come from trade partners. It costs this much to do this work. You review that, make changes or suggestions, work through that process to an approved change order, and moving forward with the project. So that's an outline of engineering duties. Superintendent duties are really mainly in the field. You do spend time in the office. It's sign of the times we're in now. A lot of communication happens through email and meetings, and so you're not 100% in the field all the time, but you spend most of your time in the field. And as a superintendent, your responsibilities are always safety of the job site and the trade partners, the subcontractors, the people that are there and are working, also the public. So if you think about this project, if you guys know where we're at, just on the north side of campus, building the new School of Business. So we have students that walk around campus. We want to keep them safe. We obviously have fences up, but maintaining fences and trying to protect the public from the construction sites is an important part of that. Developing and maintaining the project schedule. So from original bid of a job to how you're going to put a job together on paper. You can't stand a wall up without a concrete footing. So there's sequences that have to, sequences of work that have to be put in place prior to other sequences of work starting. So developing a schedule, updating that schedule, maintaining the schedule is an important part of superintendent, a big part of it. Coordination between subcontractors is probably the biggest part of superintending, making sure subcontractors are working together, respecting each other's work, and then when they do have issues with their systems or utilities not working out, being able to problem solve those issues to carry on the work. Identifying design and constructability issues. So we talked about the RFI, request for information, part of engineering. A lot of that comes out of superintendents in the field when they're building the jobs. They notice things or see things that aren't going to work and can't be done, and a lot of the times RFIs are driven from superintendents. Ensuring quality. So like I said, we've got project plans, project specifications. You have to abide by those plans and specifications, and the quality of the work has to be there. We always want quality to be one of the #1 things that we do when we turn over a building. We want the owner to be proud of it. High quality building lasts a very long time, and ensuring quality daily is a big part of that. So making sure that everything's plumb, level, square. They're using the products that they submitted. That's a big part of the field time of a superintendent. Planning and facilitating weekly coordination meetings with subcontractors. So like I was talking about construction and how fluid it is, meeting once a week is what we do. We bring all the subcontractors in. We talk about where we're at, where we're going to be a week, 2 weeks, 4 weeks away, sometimes even 6 weeks down the line. And so those meetings are vital to success on the projects. Unifying all team members to achieve the common goal, and that's to deliver projects safely, on time, and on budget. So those three things are the main drivers for what we do. We want to obviously turn over buildings and projects where no one gets hurt, and we do it on time, which is when we say we're going to be done with the project, and on budget, which means we don't cost the owner more money than what they anticipate spending throughout the life of the project. So that's just an outline of both engineer responsibilities within Turner and superintendent responsibilities within Turner. Many other things in both engineering and superintending, but those are some of the main ones. What does your day look like? So here at JSU, I'm on site, the active job site, in a construction trailer every day. So I'm here, I spend really about half and half. We are not the GC on this job, we are a CMA, so we are here for JSU to manage the project. Doster is the general contractor. I spend half of my time reviewing, looking at submittals, looking at schedules, talking with architects, the engineers, and then I spend the other half of my time in the field, just looking at quality, making sure things are where they're supposed to be, Doster's performing the work on time. So my day's split half and half. I spend half my time in the office, half my time in the field. Some days I might spend 100% of my time in the field, and the next day 20% of my time in the field. But if you went overall, I spend about half of my time both places. A lot of my time is spent looking ahead here, 4 weeks, 6 weeks. We talked about that. What is upcoming right now? We're erecting steel, so it won't be long. We'll be starting to do exterior framing and start the building skin, the brick, the curtain wall. So as steel's underway, I'm already looking ahead to windows, brick, sheathing, waterproofing, all of the things that it takes to wrap the building, roofing, and all the other scopes of work that happen within the next 4 to 6 weeks. So looking ahead is a big part of my job, and then problem solving. With construction, there's always going to be problems that come up. That's one of the great things about it. No day is ever the same. And so when things come up, looking at the issues, going back to, how did it get this way? Why did it get this way? Is it a design issue? Is it the subcontractor that laid something out wrong or assumed something wrong? And so solving those problems to move the job forward is a big part of my day. No I in team. Teamwork makes the dream work. Turner's all about teamwork. It's in our core values, which are teamwork, integrity, and commitment. Teamwork being number one. Hey, it takes everybody on a construction project to be successful, right? The engineers have to design it, the architects draw it, subcontractors have to put all the work in place, and then you have all the other people that are involved with projects, whether it's inspectors, the city. So many people are involved with bringing projects out of the ground into completion, and it takes every one of them in order to make a project successful. I wanted to speak on this picture a little bit. We're here in Alabama. I'm out of the Huntsville office, what we would call Turner Universal, which is just a kind of a section of the company that is Huntsville, Nashville, and Memphis, Tennessee. And this project team in the picture is out of our Memphis, Tennessee office, and they won. You see them holding the flag up. That is our Turner Flag Award, and it's given out 4 times a year, so once every quarter. And you get that flag. It's not easy to get. You get that flag from safety on your job, quality on your job, maintenance of schedule on your job. And so out of all the projects that Turner has going in Alabama and Tennessee, which is many projects, every 3 months they look over all those projects and they'll award the flag to the project that's done the best job in those three things. And so I've had the pleasure of being on projects that have won it before. It's really awesome thing. They actually give you a flag to fly outside on the job site flagpole as well. So a really neat thing I wanted to tell you guys about. Diversity and different types of engineers in Turner. So there are lots of different avenues and backgrounds of the people at Turner and how they got there. There's civil engineers, mechanical, structural. I went through building science, I explained, electrical engineers, people with logistics majors, safety majors. You know, there's a lot of different ways to get into general contracting, commercial construction, and companies like Turner. And it really takes all of those different backgrounds in order to have that kind of diverse, well-rounded group of employees working together on projects. So Turner is in a lot of different associations: National Society of Black Engineers, Women in Construction, the Society of Women Engineers, and they meet, you know, on bi-monthly basis. And anytime that these societies are putting on events, typically we have a presence there. AGC, which is Association of General Contractors, remember that. And so, you know, Turner's in a lot of these different outside entities when it comes to types of people that make up our company. And so I just wanted to bring that up to say, you know, you may be a manufacturer, you know, when it comes to JSU, you know, applied manufacturing major, but that doesn't mean that you can't do awesome projects in the manufacturing sector of construction and be a vital part of that team to make a project work. Our toolbox. So these are kind of the main things we use as a company to facilitate, keep work going. BIM modeling, which is basically building the whole building utility wise, outside skin, levels, the whole thing in a program called BIM. It's a Revit program, and you may be familiar with it, you may not. But this is the main tool we use to coordinate the utilities and structure in projects prior to putting it in place in the field. So you can look at that picture and see all the piping and the equipment and the ductwork, and being able to put that into BIM and see where you're going to have issues with different utilities running into each other, things that you need to coordinate around or change. Makes things in the field go much smoother when it's time to put the work in place. And BIM, we use BIM on, I would say, 90% of our projects, especially when they're new construction, you know, ground up construction is a vital tool that we use. We have people who are BIM managers that basically facilitate the subcontractors coming together, building the models, and then coordinating the models. And it takes months to do this prior to putting it in place in the field, but using that tool makes putting the work in the field much easier. Bluebeam, that's your basic PDF viewer. We use it to view all our drawings. You can, as shown in the picture, you can use it to mark up drawings, highlight progress of work. Really useful tool for PDFs, which is what we use, you know, day in, day out, all the time. So Bluebeam's an awesome tool. Procore is our basically all-encompassing document control program. Procore houses all of the construction documents, all the specifications, all the submittals, any other construction documents, safety documents, SDS documents, anything revolving the project. Procore is where we house all that information. It's just a one-stop shop and helps to keep everybody on the same page. I talked about document control and how vital that is to success in building, and Procore is a large tool, relatively new tool, probably within the last 5 years has really came on, very innovative, and they continue to make their their software better and better. So we use it almost exclusively on all our projects for document control. Obviously, Excel is a big part of what we do, and keeping budgets and tracking logs and all of that stuff. Also, Microsoft Teams meetings has been a huge one in the year of 2020 with all of the COVID. So we use Teams a lot now with remote work and just trying to navigate what is COVID and how it's affected our industry. So Microsoft Teams has been a big part of that as well. So those are just a few of the many different programs that we use to do our jobs day in and day out. Life after work at Turner. So Turner does a great job of hiring, I'll say, kind of the right people, the same kind of people, the same mentality, they're the same mindsets, the same drive. And so if you work for Turner, you'll notice that there's not a whole lot of people, if any, that you don't befriend and have good relationships with, not only at work, which is important, but outside of work, which builds friendships that last lifetimes, whether you're working for Turner or not. And so outside of work, Turner does a lot of things. What sticks out to me is, when you're on a site and you're working with a team, a lot of times you may leave work, you go to trivia and eat wings and fellowship together. Mentorship programs. So we're a part of ACE mentorship. If that's something that you're interested in, reaching out to younger people, educating them about what construction is, how great of an opportunity it is for a career. Volunteering. So always wanting to better our communities, volunteer in the communities, whether it's serving meals at local shelters. Every year on May the 5th, it's our Paint the Town Blue Day. And so every year on that day, our job sites, our teams basically shut down. We go out in the community, and it's planned for months ahead, but where we go out and we do betterment projects for people that we know are in need, or organizations that we know are in need. And it's just a way for Turner to give back to our community. So not only do we do that one day every year, we're actively wanting to be a part of our community, help our community, provide meals where we can. We provided meals to local hospitals and people who are on COVID floors, but we always want to take the great position that Turner is as the builder that we are, and the great reputation that we have, and use that as a platform to help and give back to our communities. Team building, the picture in the lower right-hand corner. So a lot of times we'll go to like Top Golf, celebrate job site milestones. I think that's an indoor racetrack that they went to, but always looking to get together outside of work. Try not to talk about work and just focus on each other and celebrating overcoming the obstacles that we face every day in building projects. And that's pretty much it, guys. So I will take questions if you want to unmute. I don't know if there's a raise your hand feature on this, but if you guys want to unmute, you're more than welcome to do so and ask me any questions that you have. Please, if you have a question, just give me your name first, and I'll jot down your question, try to answer it the best as I
can. My name is Mason Lee. I was wondering, where are your offices located?
Hey, Mason. So Turner, like I said, is a very big company with lots of offices. When we talk local offices, that's Universal. So Turner Universal, which is part of Turner, but we have an office in Huntsville. We have an office in Nashville, Tennessee. We have an office in Memphis, Tennessee. Outside of that, you have the Southeast. So Turner Southeast includes Florida, Georgia, the Carolinas, Alabama, Mississippi, and Tennessee. I think Louisiana as well. So you have offices in Miami, Orlando, Atlanta, Raleigh, North Carolina, Charlotte, North Carolina, of course, Memphis and Nashville, and I think that may be it. But you can go to our website, Mason, and look up basically who we are and about us, and you can find every office within the company. Are you interested in a particular office?
Not necessarily. I was just wondering what was local.
Yeah, so Huntsville is going to be the most local, closest location to Jacksonville State. But with Turner, you have, I mean, I've been with Turner for 11 years. Like I said, I've worked in 4 states. I've worked in Georgia. I've worked in Kentucky. I've worked in Oklahoma. And I've worked in Tennessee and now Alabama. So call that 5 states. But if you want to go to different places, you absolutely have that opportunity to do that with Turner. If you want to remain local to a place, you absolutely have that option as well. So it could go either way. It just depends on your preference. And obviously, with construction, it depends on work and where the location of work is.
Thank you very much.
You got it, Mason. Thank you. Anybody else?
Yes. My name's Josh Preston. I was just curious how you would compare residential, like home building, to commercial construction from a supervisor's viewpoint.
I think they are 100% different, Josh, in my opinion. And I came, you know, I was raised around construction. My father was in construction on a lighter commercial residential side. And now, I work for Turner, which is, holy grail of commercial construction and what Turner can do, from healthcare to industrial to regular commercial to sports venues. It almost doesn't compare in my opinion. Now, residential is always interested me. I like residential construction. I like the wood framing aspect of it.
Right.
And kind of the blow and go fast. You can put houses up much faster than you can commercial buildings. But when it comes to a residential house and then what we're doing, just say here on campus at JSU, there's really some of the means and methods are the same, but just the sheer volume of work and the equipment that it takes to put the work in place and the amount of manpower that it takes to accomplish projects they're just daylight and dark.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you. Anybody else?
My name is Jordan Wise, and I was wondering about how much opportunity there is for growth within this company.
So Turner has plenty of room for growth, and I'll, before even talking about growth, there's so many avenues within, not only within the industry, but within Turner that you can go inside the business. You could do superintending, you can do project engineering, you can do project management, you can do safety, we have a logistics division, which basically handles finished furniture and equipment. You have the pre-construction side of things, which is basically taking RFPs or requests for proposals for project and, developing budgets and bids for these projects. So you have the pre-con role, and there's just so many different avenues that you can go within the company, depending on what your interests are. Turner will not steer you, but Turner will give you opportunities in different sectors of the business, right? Whether it be pre-con or being on site at a project, working in the office, maybe you work on costs, maybe you like to crunch numbers or work finances. You have all those opportunities within Turner. They will give you the opportunity to work in those different departments just to make you more well-rounded and more knowledgeable when it comes to our business. As far as growth, if you want to put the work in and you have the drive to do the work, the growth will be there. You will be groomed by your supervisor because the way Turner looks at it is, in my role, and for the people who direct report to me, I am basically training them to do what I do, so that my supervisor, whom I work for, can move to the next position and I can move to there. So it's kind of a lockstep thing in order to grow with the company. I hope that makes sense. And if it didn't, tell me and I'll try to answer it a better way.
It does. And so what you're saying is that they are willing to train you further. It's not just you're hired, this is where you stay. Oh,
absolutely. Turner has what we call a Turner Knowledge Network, which is a series of, it's almost like college courses online, but there's so many courses in there where if you had an interest in, let's just say cost or superintending, there's courses where you can go, and it's not mandated for you to do it, but they're there for you to learn and grow in parts of the business that you may not feel like you have a good knowledge of. So yes, there's plenty of training with Turner, not only within the Turner Knowledge Network. I've been to, oh man, Miami, Colorado, New Jersey, New York, to different training sessions over the years for all kinds of different things to develop my career further, whether it be from public speaking or creating the right environment and project teams to lean principles of construction. But Turner does a great job of trying to stay on the cutting edge of our business and also keeping the employees on the cutting edge of the business.
Thank you.
You got it. Anybody else? Good stuff. All right. Anybody else? Going once, going twice. Okay. Well, I really appreciate everybody tuning in today to learn something about Turner Construction and what we do, and learn a little bit about me. I appreciate you guys. If you have any questions, like I said, my email is there in the PowerPoint. Don't hesitate to reach out to me. And if you drive by the job site, see us out here, give us a horn honk. Okay. I appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too.